Going into that cursed swamp once more, I noticed a remote ruin on the top of the mountain to the south. It was clearly inaccessible, forever out of reach in a perpetually crumpling state. Barely managing to deal with the suffocating moistness of these nasty wetlands, I finally... Well, that was just great. Of course I hadn't sent the lift back down. Either way, I returned to the imposing and ancient halls of learning, that despicable institution which had killed kind-hearted Thops, and soon thereafter reached the depraved mother of my former mistress.
Ah, now, is it thy wish to yet again be born anew?
I gave her the repulsive and soft flesh pouch found in that oppressive darkness of the village of the Albinorans.
Bear this sweeting into life anew.
And then it happened. I was given a most wondrous opportunity to be reborn in a more desirable image. It was apparent that I needed more faith in myself, and my ability to exercise mental powers had to be bolstered. This was it. Oh, make it so. She must have been magnificent in her prime, before being abandoned and maddened by sorrow.
My thanks for being born of my beloved egg.
You're... what?
Time and time again.
Cosmetics? What did that mean? Why would anyone ever meddle with their own appearance? What superficial creatures could be tempted to spend time pondering such things? Aside from that, there was clearly no reason for me to go down that path, my devilishly good looks considered. This reminded me of something. Didn't Ranni leave me a finely ornamented key? Oh, it actually worked. What was that? What beauty. Made in the shape of a full moon, this ring was by far the most breathtaking heirloom I had ever seen. Keeping that lonely queen company while carefully examining this noteworthy object, I found a message engraved. Whoever thou mayest be, take not the ring from this place. The solitude beyond the night is better mine alone. Those words sounded eerily familiar. And then it suddenly dawned on me. My former mistress had given me the very key to this specific chest. Why? During that tragic quest I embarked on months ago, I had been barred from proceeding after slaying an outlandish monstrosity. This was surely a sign, it had to be. I suddenly felt a piercing longing. I needed to go back, right now. Really? Her again? Didn't she vanish the last time I accidentally struck her? Heading back to where I had last seen my mistress, I encountered a dark night, almost a mirror image of the one who had tried to kill me in Caelid. This time, however, I decided to give that strangely attractive warrior a piece of my mind. I wondered whether I could get my hands on his rather agreeable attire. After a most delightful thrust, I continued northward and arrived at a small and crumbling church, hoping to catch a glimpse of Ranni's rise any time soon, only to stumble onto an old acquaintance of mine. That blind and flesh-eating maiden, whom I, unfortunately and unknowingly, had been supplying with yellowing and oozing eyeballs.
Oh, hello. Is that you over there? Have you ever heard of fingerprint grapes? They're special grapes which only grow on those who've been clasped by the burnt fingers. I would truly love to try one.
I bet you would.
The distant light seems far closer than before. But I can't sense a thing from the usual grapes anymore.
So you want more, do you now?
Could you donate a fingerprint grape to me? Without one, I don't know. I feel like I might go mad.
Wait a moment. Hadn't I found another of those false grapes on that marked night in the village? Oh dear. He really had been scorched by a finger. The horror.
A fingerprint grape. Tried and true. What a wondrous thing. A fingerprint grape.
Well, at least she enjoyed herself. For heaven's sake, get thee to a nunnery.
How sweet. Thank you.
This was too much.
I've composed myself again.
I couldn't deal with her.
May the blessing of the fingers be upon you.
And definitely didn't want blessings from those hairy creatures she'd become so enthralled with. Leaving that nocturnal eater of men to her own and clearly twisted devices, I headed west. At long last I saw my destination on the horizon, adrift in a vast ocean of distant stars. Feeling the necessity for haste, I summoned Torrent, and we rode like the wind. After passing through endless, swampy ravines full of slow-moving, poisonous squirts, we finally arrived at that sweet and gentle troll, who had stoically served Ranni for eons. After an hour of uneasy sleep, I spoke to him, one of the only friendly individuals in this decrepit world.
Lady Ranni has departed on her journey.
I know.
Along the dark path of Empyrean, from Renna's Rise, as she calls it. Now Lady Ranni is in your hands. I pray that you serve her well.
What did that even mean?
Unto the very end.
Wouldn't that indicate that my servitude hadn't ended after all? And where had that vain and perfume-drenched wolf-servant gone off to? Most likely he was taking pleasure in his own furry flesh while looking in a mirror, howling with obscene delight. Arriving at the remote underground river full of heavy stone coffins, I came at last to that nightmarish lake of rot, a place I had passionately tried to forget. I hadn't noticed that peculiarly shaped cliff before. Oh, that wasn't a cliff. It turned out that in the middle of this infernal lake of rot, a lizard-like monstrosity took offense whenever poor wanderers disturbed its peaceful slumber of organic disintegration. During the next couple of hours, I dipped my toes in that fuming substance, got drowned, and eventually tried to take care of that creature from afar. Oh, bloody hell, I was out. The horrendous combination of this inhospitable terrain and a fiend, enormously cruel and simple-minded, forced me to use both of my great hammers. What a ghastly thing. It appeared to be wrapped in layers of something disgusting, and despite its nightmarishly ugly face, still had limbs like a man. Using these magnificent hammers, that unbecoming and mummified corpse became nothing but a chore, and it didn't take long bestowing that thing with a more permanent sleep. My, that jagged sword just reeked of dormant powers. Well, in the end, I found myself in that huge and ethereal cave, which felt like an island floating in the night sky. The magical barrier was gone now. Why had it disappeared? Feeling increasingly excited and bewildered by this new development, I ran into the tunnel and found a long-forgotten lift in the midst of dusty ruins. Where exactly was the ancient contraption taking me? For some reason, my body tingled with a most welcome and strangely pleasurable sensation. By the gods, what was this land? The moon hovered like a ripe and glowing grape in the sky, and nature itself seemed to hum with anticipation, enticing me to penetrate its esoteric mysteries. The very night was even adorned with glorious rays of white satin, calling for me to unveil it.